we're gonna take, an analogy and compare it to Tinder, if you see somebody in Tinder, they're ready to get together. Okay. And on Powerlinx, when you see somebody, that posted a business opportunity, because at the end of the day, when two people come together, it's an opportunity for me to do business with you, right? Or you to do business with me, whether I'm looking for something for my business or I'm offering something that my business produces or a service that my business provides.
Hi everyone, this is Marcela Ordaz with Industrial Talks Podcast. Welcome to this episode where we're going to talk about the industrial evolution and the elements that makes it possible. Today, our guest is going to be Meir Shachar from Powerlinx. He is the General Director of Istech Technologies, Israeli Technologies, who specialize about cybernetic security, and he's going to talk a little bit about it in this conversation. Also, I want to talk number one, welcome, Meir, but what is Powerlinx? What is this thing?
Thank you, Marcel. Delighted to be with you, and good morning. Powerlinx is the fastest way to bring two people together on business. As a matter of fact, we've done some interviews and for media here in Israel. Mm-hmm. And they've dubbed us the Tinder for business. That's how fast we bring two people together on business opportunities along the entire supply chain, whether it's somebody that's looking for a supplier or somebody looking for a buyer. That's what Powerlinx is all about.
And what is the difference with another services that are already placed right now in Mexico? I mean, we're talking about Latin America and Mexico, but what's the difference with it?
Okay, the main differentiator about Powerlinx is the simplicity and the speed. Believe it or not, as advanced as we are with the technological wherewithal we have and the computing capacity that people can avail themselves of, they still rely essentially on search. So your first instinct would be to go into, let's say, one of the search engines, whether it's Google or Bing, and search for what you're looking for, whether it's a new source or a new market. But that search can bring an almost infinite number of options. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a piece of trivia.
Tell me.
Do you know what a Googleplex is?
Googleplex?
Googleplex.
No. Tell me.
A Googleplex is a number that is so huge, okay? It's almost infinite. In other words, it's an actual number that it's nearly impossible, okay, to write it down because it's so long, right? And I don't know it, but I have a feeling that, when the founders of Google, came together, their idea was to say, we can bring you an infinite, number of results. And that's what happens. Obviously today, the search results are very sophisticated. So, they'll tend to bring on top, things that are most relevant. Still, it doesn't necessarily mean that there is a business opportunity.
Correct.
And it's not any different than using a lead service that a lot of sales, marketing, and business development people use to find new opportunities, where it's actually based on information that's out there and you sift through it, just like you would need to sift through search results. It's not different, than using databases, of leads. You still need to go through them one by one. And when you do make contact with someone, it doesn't mean that they have anything to sell to you or anything to buy from you. On Powerlinx, anyone you see, they're ready to do business. Just like if we're going to take, an analogy and compare it to Tinder, if you see somebody in Tinder, they're ready to get together. Okay? And on Powerlinx, when you see somebody, that posted a business opportunity, because at the end of the day, when two people come together, it's an opportunity for me to do business with you, right? Or you to do business with me, whether I'm looking for something for my business or I'm offering something that my business produces or a service that my business provides. So when you see a post on Powerlinx, this company, this person is ready to do business.
So both parts are willing to do whatever they are.
They're willing, ready, and able. And that's the main differentiator of Powerlinx. That when you see something, it's actionable, it's real. It's not just a piece of information about a business that may or may not have something that you can act on.
Like a CRM or another kind of services that are out there that you can just look for it, but you don't know if they're open or willing to.
Exactly.
I love the phrase you used. Ready, willing. I love the phrase you used. Willing, ready, and able.
Ready, willing, and able.
And what is that? I mean, it's like both parts are ready. And how do they subscribe to Powerlinx? I mean, how does this help to the Mexican market in the industry?
Okay. I think not only does it help the Mexican market, but how Mexico helps the world. I think that's the important thing about, our conversation today.
Mm-hmm.
I myself am fascinated, every day by what I learn about the capacity that Mexican businesses have to supply not just raw materials, not just, the sort of things that we typically attribute to Mexico, which is maybe tequila and
trivial,
fruits and vegetables,
mm-hmm.
but anything across, technology, fully assembled cars, fully assembled electronic and electrical, appliances. I don't think the world realizes the abilities that Mexico has to provide literally anything and everything that we would make in our own country, whether it's in the United States or Canada or in Europe, or rely on the Asian producers mm-hmm. to provision for us. I think that Mexico is perfectly positioned. It's actually in a formidable place, to supply the world what has been disrupted, because of COVID, that would typically come from Asia. It's in a geopolitically stable environment for the North American market, which is Canada and the United States. It's in a stupendous, place because it's south of the border and it doesn't need any maritime shipping, although that's an option. Things can be moved by rail or by truck.
Mm-hmm.
And people in Mexico who are in business, and I'm telling you myself, I'm fascinated by it because every day I read more and more about what Mexico's output is. People in Mexico, business people in Mexico, industrialists in Mexico, are very serious and very professional people. And they know how to cater to the North American market and the European market. And I think the rest of the world doesn't know it. And this is what we'd like to bring to the audience through these podcasts. The fact that, they can turn to Mexico for literally anything and everything, whether it's raw materials or finished goods. I was fascinated a couple of weeks ago to read that Mexico surpassed Japan in the number of vehicles shipped to the European Union. I'm like, whoa, that's huge.
It is huge.
Yeah, and just like that, there's just so many other things that Mexico has the capability to produce and provide, that why look somewhere else? You have a country with people that you can essentially rely on.
Meir, you spoke about
That's big.
The geopolitical. You also mentioned about you can move things by rail, by train, by sea, by basically however we want. We are in a very good position, and I agree with you on that. So besides this, what are the competitive advantages that you see that Mexico brings into the business in this industrial revolution?
Look, the fact that if we were to just zero in on the accord between the three North American countries, right? Canada, the United States, and Mexico. First of all, there is advantages to that accord. That's number one. Number two is the fact that, we like to think that Mexico pays attention to what goes on in the North, because at the end of the day, that's a big market for them. So, I loved very much the fact that you opened up, our talk saying the industrial evolution. Why? Because we tend to think about the Industrial Revolution, and that brought, many, many, many good things with it. But unfortunately, with it, it also brought, some things that are not so good, just like climate change that, is greatly affected by the Industrial Revolution. And the world realizes now that they need to evolve. This is why, the fact you use the Industrial Evolution into a different way of doing business, okay, is very important, because it's bringing responsibility to industry to act in a certain way, at the very least, to curtail the amount of damage that we've done through the Industrial Revolution to the world we live in. To me, it really talks very closely, because I majored in earth and environmental sciences, so Mother Earth is something that's very, very close to me. And why do I say that Mexico is poised in a very special place? Because dealing with the North American market, I think they'll pay closer attention to everything that they do, okay, in an environmentally conscious way, because their customers in Canada and the United States will expect it from Mexico, much more so than producers anywhere else in the world. So I think if you're looking for a country that can produce for you goods or provide for you services, whether it's nearshoring or assembly, in a way that hopefully aligns with your corporate, environmental strategy or policy, I believe that you can expect it from Mexican companies more than anywhere else in the world. And I think that's an advantage for Mexican companies. We are a global platform, but we decided recently to put an emphasis in Latin America. And out of 45 territories and countries in Latin America, in other words, all islands in the Caribbean,
yes,
south, all the way to Argentina, to where I'm from, okay, we decided to put a focus on Mexico, because we realized that Mexico is in a really, really good place in many ways. And through Powerlinx, we want to let the world know, about, everything that you can get from Mexico, and everything that you can get done in Mexico. To me, it's a very quiet giant, a good giant.
Before we go, tell me one story, one successful story that has happened in Powerlinx that stands. So
I'll tell you a global story, although we have, many things that I can share with you. I'll tell you a really nice story that I think that the Mexican producers will appreciate.
Tell me.
There was a European manufacturer of certain goods, okay, that was looking for distribution in the United States. And they found another manufacturer, an American manufacturer, that essentially was a competitor with them. And they reached out to them and they said, hey, listen, would you be willing to distribute our product alongside your product? In other words, it's going to a joint distribution agreement. The American manufacturer did. After a short, while, not a long time of doing that, the European manufacturer came and bought out the American manufacturer. So that, had two beautiful happenstances that evolved.
In both sides.
To use your word, for both sides. Okay, it started off, as first they were competitors, then they realized, that collaborating could be good for both of them instead of being competitors. And the world is going that way, by the way. The world realizes that you can compete or you can collaborate. At the end of the day, we're both looking many times for the same customers. So why not collaborate? Why not join forces? We can do so much more together, right?
Right.
So they joined forces to distribute, and then one bought out the other. So it worked out well for both. And that type of thing can happen anywhere in the world. And I think that it's the sort of thing that can really happen to a lot of Mexican companies, because the more people know about it, and this is why I'm thrilled to come on your show, on your podcast, the more people you'll see bringing their manufacturing, bringing their procurement, or sourcing to Mexico. We have to let the world know.
This is what we do. In Industrial Talks, this is what we do. Share, collaborate, add on, and we're on the same page. And
Fantastic.
You just said it. I mean, this is going global, and I appreciate you being here with us. Thank you, Meir, for this interview.
Me too. Delighted. I give you 2 thumbs up, as we do with all of our
you're right.
people in Powerlinx.
They did this in Powerlinx.
2 thumbs up. and I want to give provide a special bonus to your listeners, your viewers.
Oh, we have a code here.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me about it.
As we go into the end of the year, right, and you're looking to boost, your numbers in the final stretch of the last quarter, anybody that goes into our website or directly into the Apple or Google store, downloads our app, which is Powerlinx with an X at the end.
Mm-hmm.
After they download and they register through the app, they send a quick message to support with the code Marcela.
Marcela, please.
We will upgrade them to our premium level, which is Powerlinx Plus.
Okay.
For the next, 40 days. Okay. Until the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
No strings attached, no obligation.
Perfect.
Gladly, just for being on the show and listening to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And all the followers, we will too. Thank you very much. To you all,
Gladly.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us on this episode. By the way, your social media.
Yes.
Share with us your social media before we go.
So we have a number of channels. We have LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and even Linktree.
And with the same word, Powerlinx?
Powerlinx. With an X at the end.
With the end.
Just the way you see it in the logo, my background.
Uh-huh.
Powerlinx.
Very good. Muchas gracias, Meir.
What we do is we link you to good opportunities, to good people.
Very good. Thank you very much. And for you all, thank you. We expect that you like this episode. Please share with your friends, your family, your social media. Don't forget to follow us on Industrial Talks LA and LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're all over. So see you next time.